Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are shifting gears a little bit. Usually we're up at 40,000 feet looking at these big macro trends, economics, history, the future of tech.
We are.
But today, we are actually getting into the cockpit. And not just the cockpit, but right down to the pilot's kneeboard, to a very specific tool.
We are looking at a specific piece of equipment that, to be honest, it looks like it belongs in a museum display case next to a sextant, rather than on a modern flight deck.
Exactly. We are talking about the navigation computer. Specifically, what a lot of people call the whiz wheel.
The CRP-5, or maybe the E6B, depending on where you trained or which model you ended up buying at the pilot shop. But yes, the infamous whiz wheel.
It's funny because if you show this thing to a layperson, or even, a brand new student pilot who's grown up with iPads and GPS and ForeFlight.
Oh, yeah.
They look at it like it's an alien artifact. It's this circular plastic disc covered in tiny, terrifying numbers and these spinning scales. It just looks completely archaic.
It does look archaic. I mean, it is effectively an analog device in a purely digital world. But here's the thing, and this is really why we're doing this deep dive today.
Okay.
If you want to be a licensed pilot, specifically if you're going for your EASA Airline Transport Pilot License, the ATPL, you cannot just ignore this plastic disc. You have to master it.
And you don't use that word lightly, I take it. Master.
No, I really don't. It's not about just getting by. It's about genuine mastery.
The stakes are actually incredibly high here, aren't they? I was looking at the notes from our source material for this, which is Chapter 6 of the Navigation Computer Text.
Right.
And there's a statistic in there that kind of blew my mind. I think most students, they assume this is just a rite of passage they can sort of muddle through and then forget about.
And that assumption is a huge mistake. Here is the one number every student needs to hear. 25%.
25%. That's huge.
Navigation computer calculations make up almost 25% of the general navigation exam marks directly.
So a quarter of your entire grade for Gen Nav.
A quarter of your grade relies entirely on your ability to spin this wheel correctly. I mean, think about that. If you walk into that exam hall and you're shaky on the wheel, you are essentially capping your maximum possible score at 75% before you even pick up a pencil.
That is the difference between a pass and a fail right there. For a lot of people, that's the entire margin.
It absolutely is. And, it goes beyond just those direct questions. The source makes a really important point that a lot of other questions in the exam,
Okay.
even the ones that aren't explicitly labeled as navigation computer questions, they can be solved faster with the computer than with the digital calculator.
Really? Okay. I have to stop you there. Faster than a digital calculator. I find that very hard to believe. I can type numbers into my phone pretty fast.
Once you are proficient, yes, absolutely faster. For the kinds of problems you face in aviation, it's a speed machine.
Okay. That is a bold claim, and I want to test that today.
Yeah.
So our mission for this deep dive seems pretty clear then. We are speaking directly to you, the student pilot out there, the learner, the person staring at this general navigation exam and, frankly, feeling a little overwhelmed by all the math.
Our goal is to take you from what is this plastic thing to really mastering the specific side of the computer known as the slide rule face.
Right. We're not doing the win side today. That's a whole other beast. Just the slide rule side.
Just the slide rule. We're going to break down the theory, the multiplication, the division, and most importantly, the ratios. And we're going to do it in a way that prevents what the source calls parrot fashion learning.
I love that phrase, parrot fashion. The source warns against it explicitly, doesn't it?
It does, because if you just memorize turn dial A to point B, like a parrot repeating a phrase, you will freeze up under exam stress. We've all seen it happen.
And you won't know what to do if the question is phrased slightly differently.
Exactly. You need to understand why it works. If you understand the theory, the actual mechanics of what the plastic is doing, the inputs become second nature. You stop fighting the tool and you actually start using it.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Let's start with the absolute basics. For someone who's just taken this out of the wrapper, what exactly?
All right. Many thanks for listening to this free part of the ATPL Theory podcast. If you want to continue learning and access the full comprehensive guide, go to my Patreon at patreon.com/ATPLtheory or my Hero at herohero.co/ATPL. That is patreon.com/ATPLtheory or herohero.co/ATPL. Wishing you all the best